Hi, welcome to episode 3 of Cooking with William. Today we are going to be making pizza. To start, let's make a dough. In a large bowl, add 850 grams of bread flour along with 18 grams of active dry yeast and whisk that together to combine. If you can't find bread flour, all-purpose works, it just won't be as good of a final product. Next, you're going to want to add 16 grams of kosher salt, along with 550 grams of water. Exact measurements are in the link in the description. Now, mix to combine. You want all of the flour to be hydrated. Once it slightly comes together, it might be easier to knead it with your hands. Keep on mixing until it becomes a shaggy dough like this. The flour will continue to hydrate as you cover it with plastic wrap and let it sit at room temperature overnight. This is where all of the flavor and the gluten development will come from. Do not try and skip this step. Now we can start on our sauce. In a large pan, add some olive oil, enough to coat the bottom of the pan. Then chop a large white onion and add it into the smoking oil. You want your onions to look something like this. Next, peel a large carrot and finely dice to about the size of the onion. This will add some nice sweetness to your sauce. Let those onions cook, stirring occasionally until they get nice and golden brown and the onions become translucent. Then you're going to add some garlic. You could chop your own garlic, but I like this jarred garlic. It works very well in sauces like these. Once the garlic becomes fragrant, add about a quarter cup of red wine to deglaze and stir it around, scraping all of the fond off the bottom. Once the wine reduces by about half, add 2 large cans of San Marzano tomatoes, ideally whole. Crushed were all I could find, and they will work in a pinch. You're then going to want to stir the sauce around just to make sure all those flavors get to know each other. Let the sauce come to a simmer, cover, and let cook for at least 4 hours, preferably 12. When you're ready to make the pizza, add a couple of ladlefuls of your sauce into a blender, or use an immersion blender if you have one. Feel free to skip this step if you want a more chunky, more textural sauce. We're going to blend this on a medium speed until it starts to become a much smoother sauce. Be careful not to burn yourself. Now it's time to start on the pizza. As you can see, our dough has about doubled in size overnight, and it has fully hydrated. We have a much wetter dough that looks a lot more like a pizza dough. This all comes from the long overnight ferment that we allowed it to have. So now we are going to cut this dough into about 4 equal pieces. I made a larger recipe, so I will be cutting it into 6. I would recommend that you measure your pieces. I did not, and I ended up with some pieces of dough that were way bigger than others, and some pizzas that ended up way too thick. Once you cut your dough into equal pieces, you're going to want to spread out some cornmeal on your work surface. Place the dough on the cornmeal and fold the edges over itself until it becomes a solid ball. You're developing gluten that will allow it to hold its own shape as it rests. Let that rest for about 15 minutes before attempting to shape it into a pizza. We're going to coat our dough ball in more cornmeal and slowly stretch it out, letting it get bigger and bigger. If it ever starts resisting you, just let it rest under a damp towel for about 15 minutes. Now we're going to need a cast iron that has been preheating in an oven as high as it goes for about an hour. Add a drizzle of olive oil to the pan and then place your pizza dough into the pan. It will start sizzling, and you want to go very fast at this point. First, add your fresh tomato sauce, spreading it evenly across the pizza. Then add some freshly grated low moisture mozzarella cheese. You don't want to use the fresh stuff or you'll end up with soup. And then add your toppings. I chose salami, sweet bell peppers, and some bacon, as well as topping it off with some Parmesan cheese. Place that on the top rack of your oven as high as it goes for about 7 minutes until it is golden brown and bubbly just like this. Serve with fresh cracked black pepper and fresh Parmesan cheese on top. I hope you enjoyed. Please remember to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what I could do better or what you would like cooked next time.